We're a book-loving country. Last year alone we bought an estimated 787 million books in the UK. But most of those were by established authors, whose publishers could afford to invest in a big print run of at least 1,000 books. This works against uncommon subjects and unknown writers who often can't get published because of the cost. Big dreams start small. Even J.K. Rowling's first book, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, had an initial print run of only 500 copies.
There are many difficulties for writers trying to get into publishing these days. I think mainstream publishing is very difficult to get into. Self-publishing can be another route for writers. I think it's a bit of a chicken and an egg situation, so writers find it very hard to find a mainstream publisher without an agent, and it's quite hard to get an agent if you don't have a publisher interested. So something like digital publishing, if it makes it quicker and easier and cheaper for writers to self-publish, then I think that's a really good thing for writers in general and the publishing industry.
But now digital printing is changing the face of book publishing. Manuscripts can be updated simply and cheaply during printing, and books can be stored on disk and printed on demand any time in the future. They need never go out of print. Even printing just one book is now viable.
This technology, because of the ease of the make-ready, the workflow software, relies upon digital images rather than physical ones. So once the image is created digitally by means of scanning or input electronically, it means that that image can be reproduced quickly, efficiently, and economically at very, very short runs, one, for instance, on this technology. So for an author or someone who wants to publish a book but cannot find a publisher who will take the project on, it means that he or she can himself have that book published, and whatever run length is appropriate can be created, again, economically, effectively on a device like this.
Since we've upgraded to the OSAE machine, we can now print about 1,000 pages a minute, which is very, very fast. But at the same time, because it's digital, we can do very short runs and low volume work as well. It means we can hold thousands and thousands of titles on our system, computer system, and at the touch of a button we can print as many copies as we want of any of those particular books.
One example of a book to benefit from digital printing is this horrific account by Jack Farrow of his brutal experiences as a prisoner of war at the hands of the Japanese.
He had the jobs of burial and making the graves and burying most of his comrades. And of course the first person he buried, or almost the first person he buried, was the boy he went to school with, his next door neighbour. You know, everybody should know what went on and what the men went through.
Jack Farrow's account of his 3 years' captivity in the notorious Changi jail was kept on these notebooks and scraps of paper he kept hidden from his captors. He took a big risk by writing them down. The account was written shortly before he died 15 years ago. His family hoped writing them down would help him exorcise the nightmares he had about his experiences, but they couldn't find a publisher. That's now changed thanks to digital technology.
With the OSAE digital technology that we have for the book, other people can use this technology and hopefully produce their own books, and we will get a better feeling of what a generation went through. Dad's story is a war diary, and I'm sure there are other war diaries there, and probably other people have had the same frustrations of not being able to get it published. I think now, in this modern age of the digital printing, we can do this, and the more that these people can get their books into the public domain, I think the more we'll understand how that generation survived and what they did for us.
Oh, well, it's wonderful to have the book, you know. I couldn't realise it was going to be so big, you know. I didn't just realise it was like that at all, you know. But I'm sure he would have been thrilled. Yes, he would.